Welcome to the REIOS first State of the System address. Moving forward, we're going to have these State of the System videos scheduled for every Friday, where we give you an update on what we've completed so far and the updates that are planned for the next 1, 2, 3, and 4 weeks. Moving forward, when we fill up all of our pre-launch spots, this will turn into a live stream every Friday where you guys can ask me questions one-on-one. You can give me any suggestions that you have, if it's something you'd like to see as far as a feature, or to just say hello. So for this first inaugural State of the System, we're just going to jump in and show you everything that we have so far, and then we're going to show you some of the progress that we're making and what we have planned for the near future. Now, as you can see here, REIOS is currently in pre-launch. Please keep that in mind when you're looking at the user interface. We're updating all of the UI. I'll get to that a little bit later, but please, on this State of the System, let's just focus on the system. So let's log in here. As you can see on the home page, we have our 6 modules, which by now you should know are branding, advertising, data, manpower, financing, and dispo. And each separate module has its own rules, and each module has to be paid to unlock. As a pre-launch member, all of your modules will be unlocked automatically, but for regular users after pre-launch, all of the modules will start locked, and each one needs to be unlocked individually. And if they're not unlocked every month, then they will relock, and then you'll lose access to those. REIOS uses a credit system in order to activate our modules as well as interact with some of those modules. And buying credits is just as easy as clicking up here, choosing how many credits you'd like to purchase, hitting next, our save payment method from when I created the account, and then we get a transaction summary, accept. Now we've purchased our credits and you see they're reflected here. Now up here you can see our notification section, which I'll get into in a little bit more detail later, but you can see we've purchased 20,000 credits and you see that it's added to our account and our new balance is here. You can also click see all and you can get a list of all the notifications on your account. And anytime you do something to interact with REIOS and there's some sort of transaction, you'll see that notification here. You can also easily search these notifications. If we wanted to find the most recent transaction we just did, we could type in 20,000 and we'll see each time we purchase 20,000 credits. You can also search for a module. So we could type module 1 and you'll see everything you've done to interact with module 1 here. So now that we've gone over the credit system and the notifications, let's start to go through some of the modules. We can either click this square over here to open module 1, or we can use this navigation here on the left-hand side once we've paid to unlock a module, or if your pre-launch account has your modules unlocked automatically. But every time we go over to a module, we have a module homepage, which has a video that tells everything about the module, how you should use it, and then other modules that it connects to. But let's just jump into what this module does. Module 1 is an automatic done-for-you replicated website that you can advertise or send to anybody who might be interested in selling their home. We've made this super simple and very easy so that you don't have to take loads of hours learning how to build a website, learning new platforms, editing images. We put together these replicated websites that are the best at conversion rates for having potential sellers find your website, fill out the form, and submit it so that you can contact them and potentially buy their house. These are all tested to convert well, and we're constantly changing and updating and optimizing these websites, so that's just not something you have to worry about. I also want to mention all of these websites, we take care of the hosting and the domains as well. If you'd like to connect your own personal domain, then you can do that and we'll show you how, but you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to set up a server or hosting or domains or anything. As soon as you jump in here, we create this website for you, assign you a URL, and we handle all the hosting. So literally a couple clicks and you're done. Let's go into what it is exactly that we need to fill out here. You can insert your name, your phone number, your zip code, your prefix, whether it's he or she. I'll show you what that does in a moment. And then your 5 testimonials. You need to put in a city, comma, state. And then what we'll do here is hit update and apply. We see here the brand has been created, view website, and now we see the website is created for us instantly using the fields that we input on the last page. So we see up here the phone number that we put in. Here we say, hey, I'm Jordan, which is the name we use, our image that we chose. Here we can see sell your Michigan property to the #1 home buyer in Warren. That's the city and the state that got auto-detected from the zip code that we input. You see Jordan here, buys houses in Michigan. You see homeowners love to work with Jordan. And then we see here testimonials. And here we see the cities and states that we used in the last page for our testimonial city and state. And also, you know that we used a prefix of he. So here you see he answered any questions I had. And then we'll see in some of these other testimonials, they'll use a he or a she, depending on, see, and he answered any questions I had. So that he or she prefix will be in these testimonials where they'll say he did a good job or she did a good job. And that also makes another change on the page, which I'll get into in just a moment. But you see the image we used here again. Why should you sell your house to Jordan here? And then you see the image here, the name here, and then you see the name here, the image here. So you see that we filled in a lot of this customization from just a couple of fields that we used in the last page. I do want to show you how it says here, hey, I'm Jordan. Let's go back and change this prefix to she, update and apply. Okay, view website. And now we see that it says, hi, I'm Jordan with the smiley face up here. And also, hi, I'm Jordan with the smiley face down here. So this is a more effeminate greeting. So if you change it to he, you see it says, hey, my name is Jordan. And if you change it to she, it changes to, hi, I'm Jordan with the smiley face. So you can use it however you want. That fits your personality, regardless if you're a man or a woman. But these are the small things that we're focusing on in REIOS that a lot of people just don't think about. And this not only makes the user experience better, but in this case, it improves conversion rate. And that's really what we care about. Now let's head back over to the REIOS back office and let's look at this advanced tab. On this advanced tab, we have the ability for you to make a couple more changes if you'd like to customize the website even more. You now see that you can update the logo that's on the top. You can also change the company name. You can also update the About section. So let's change our profile image. And let's change this logo. Let's just change it to this circle image so we can see the difference. And then let's hit update and apply. View website. Now we see the logo up here has been changed. We see that we have a new image over here. And we also see at the bottom, we've changed the company name to Joe Home Seller, also on the footer here. And we've also actually changed this About Us section. So we could change this About Us to anything. This is an About Us section, and we hit update and apply, and view website again. And now we see it's changed this to this is an About Us section. So you can really make this whatever you want and customize it to look like your own personal brand, logo, company name down here in the footer, as well as underneath your image, and change the About Us section. Now, something that we took into account is the ability to easily switch between the basic and the advanced versions anytime that you want. So if you're using the basic version and you have certain testimonials in here with city and state, certain zip code, your image, and you hit update and apply, and we hit view website, your URL has switched back to the normal done for you version with the automatic About Us section. But if you for some reason then decide that you'd like to switch back to the advanced version and come up with your own About Us section, or what you might like to do is copy the About Us section and just make some small tweaks. So instead of saying, I've been buying and selling homes in our community since 2007, maybe you say 2010, maybe that better fits your journey. And maybe you make some small changes here. I've never been the high pressure, hard selling type. Maybe you change type of guy, type of girl. and then you can just hit update and apply. And then you can view the website, and we see those changes automatically down here. But what this does for us is if at any point in time you want to do two separate zip codes or different testimonial cities or state, you could go over here to basic, update and apply with this information and send it out to some people. And then after your campaign, if you want to come over here, change the zip code and the testimonial city and states, and then update and apply, and then send the URL to a different campaign, you can do that as well. So you can switch this, like I said, back and forth as often as you'd like. If you change your mind at any point in time, you don't have to keep refilling out these filters each time you switch back and forth. So it's really helpful for just easily going in, doing your basic, hitting update and apply, everything's done. If you create your domain, company name, and logo, just come over here to advanced, update this about us section, company name, logo, right here, update and apply, and there you go. Now your logo is on your site and it's branded for your actual company name. Now the main part of this obviously is actually getting people to opt in and tell you they want to sell their house. So let's look at that portion of this. If we start to type an address, this is what your visitors will see. Again, when you market this URL, you do some kind of advertising, you can put your own domain, assign it to this URL that we've given you. You could put it on your business cards. You could do it on postcards. You can market this however you want. So they'll start to type in their address, and it'll bring up this list for autofill, which people love, and it also increases conversions. And then let's just put in some names. Let's say Tom Ado is number 111, all ones, email tom@gmail.com. How soon are you looking to sell? Let's say as soon as possible, and get my offer now. Now they see this form has been successfully submitted and will contact you soon. And when they hit OK, they go back to the home page. But for you, inside of your REIOS system, you'll see now Tom Ado has opted in. You get all his information. You get his address, how urgently they'd like to sell, and then the exact date that they submitted. So the actual day, year, and even time when they submitted. What you can do here is either come in here and email them or give them a phone call, or you can download the CSV file that has all of these opt-ins inside of it. If you'd like to, you can delete one here. Are you sure you want to delete? Yes, so we deleted the last one. You'll also see a notification here that somebody opted into your capture page wanting to sell their house. So this is another easy way to keep track of your notifications up here. You see a notification pop up, you can come over here to your opt-ins and see a new person is here, and you can market to them however you'd like. Moving forward, we're actually going to be integrating this with our own CRM, which is our module 2, but we'll also let you integrate with other CRMs. So if you have another CRM company that you use, we'll allow you to integrate this with that. So anytime someone opts in here on your capture page, it can get kicked out automatically to whatever CRM you want, and then you can follow up with either emails or text messages or whatever you'd like. We also, as I mentioned in Module 2, are going to be having our own CRM. So if you unlock and turn on that module, then these can automatically be imported into that CRM, and you can do those follow-ups automatically as well. The other thing we're working on integrating now is with Aweber. So if you'd like to, you can connect your Aweber account. And again, anytime you get an opt-in here, it will automatically import to your Aweber autoresponder, so it can send them emails anytime you'd like. Let's skip Module 2 because currently we're still working on it. But Module 2 is a full CRM. You can schedule emails, text messages, and also we have a lot of AI integration into Module 2, where we can have an AI send text messages and follow-ups for you automatically once somebody opts in on Module 1. So, for example, imagine you turn that feature on and somebody here opts in to your Module 1 replicated website, and our AI bot automatically sends them a text message or an email that says, hey, I saw that you were looking to sell your property in, and it reads this, 1 to 3 months at this address. When can we schedule a phone call and talk? The bot can actually also learn from your own data, so you can tell it what kind of pricing you'd like it to offer and connect to some other cool things, which again, I won't get into right now. But basically, that AI can do a lot of the follow-up for you and turn this lead into an even more warm lead. So once you jump on the phone with them, they'll already be primed and ready to go for you to give them an offer on the property. You have no idea how much time and energy this saves to have a website that you make in 2 seconds available for you to market to. Let's say you spend some advertising dollars, which we're also going to be adding to Module 1, where if you'd like us to do your advertising for you, you spend some credits, we market the website that we made for you. It will also import automatically into our AI. The bot will ask all those questions, collect all that data for you, and when you jump on the phone, you're ready to go. Or depending on what you want the bot to do, maybe it just negates that lead. Maybe it's something you don't want. Maybe it has huge foundation issues, or maybe the roof is falling off, and that bot will give you that information already, and maybe you don't even call them because they just don't fit within your buy box. Moving on to Module 3, this is a big module. This is replacing entire other companies. This is our data module. Here you can pull data, and you can also skip trace. If you guys are on pre-launch accounts, we're giving you guys amazing deals on these data pull and skip tracing. We're giving you really big discounts, but even for regular users after pre-launch, we're giving the cheapest rates on the market for both data and skip trace. And the data and skip tracing that we get is actually from the largest data broker that there is. And so this is actually the highest quality data you can get, while we are also at the same time offering it for the lowest price on the market. We get a huge discount because we have to do an extreme amount of bulk purchases for these, which is why we get a cheaper rate. Not because we're using cheaper or low quality data and we're passing that on to you guys essentially. Let's just start here. We can either type an address or we can type whole zip codes. So for a whole zip code, we could add this. You could add this. You can add as many zip codes as you want. So you could do a search of 8 zip codes that are not close to each other. They could even be in different states if you wanted them to be. But let's just start here with near address. This does our autofill again, and you can select a radius that's close to that address, or you can just do whole counties, and you can even do whole states. For example, the entire state of Arizona. Now, I don't know other platforms that let you do this large amount of area. Most of them make you draw little circles, and there's only a certain amount of radius you're allowed to search. So you have to go on a map, draw a bunch of stuff, and then hopefully you can get everything you want. Here, you could just type the whole of Arizona and search an entire state. So let's just leave this radius blank for now. We're just going to pick everything in Arizona. And what we've done here is made this extremely simple. What we've done in REIOS is curated the best things for you that we know that work, so you're not wasting your time on things that are not revenue-generating activities. So for example, you don't need to learn about 1,000 different fields. You don't have to try and distinguish which ones are the best. We've already curated the best ones for you. Those we call our golden filters, and we've got different strategies here: sub-2, wholesale cash offer, land deals, and we're adding more. But let's just look at an example of what one of these is. Let's look at small vacant, which we have great success with. It's a single family, max build of 1990, max square feet of 2,000, individually owned, years of ownership, minimum 5 years, last sale price $150,000, equity minimum 30%. So that is a very specific search that you're not going to find on some other site. And even if they have the ability to search these exact filters, it would take you forever to try and go through and pick all of these filters, or to go through hundreds of filters and find these and then decide by trial and error and testing that these are the best. So you don't even have to do that with us. You come over here to golden filters, look through some of our amazing golden filters that work really well already. Like, look at this: liens, year built, max 1990, max square feet 2,000, minimum lien about $2,000, lien type other, which is important, equity minimum 30%, ownership minimum 5 years. You will never find a more specific search than that. And again, these are already curated for you. You just click one and then you hit next. It does the search for you in Arizona. So let's go off golden filters for just a minute, because I want to show you some people want other things aside from golden filters. So we do have options that you can pick, and I just want to show you the process here. So it's still extremely easy if you want to choose your own. Let's just say an off-market single family that's privately owned, or it could be an on-market multifamily that's corporate owned, right? So you can pick whatever you want here. Expired is great to search if you have a expired single family that's privately owned. You know that they tried to sell it previously, but it canceled. So you know they're looking to sell. But let's just remove all this. Let's make it easy and go off market, single family, privately owned in Arizona. The next set of filters we have here, you can pick any of these so that it will search any of these, or you can choose all, so it has to be these specifically. Obviously, on all, it couldn't be foreclosure and pre-foreclosure, so if we choose all, it only lets us pick one of these. We have lenders. If we choose all, it'll only let us pick one, of course, because it can't be a VA and a USDA. And if we pick any, we could pick, all right, it could be VA or could be USDA. So that's what this toggle up here does. But let's just say any right now, and let's tick off foreclosure. Let's go with lenders, VA, and USDA. So we know for sure they have a low interest rate with one of these lenders. And we're actually adding search by exact interest rate where you can put 5% or less, 4% or less. So you can get even more granular with this. But let's just hold it off here. We have property built date as well. And then we have custom fields. Right now we have about 60 fields that we load to each file, each document that we create from these searches when you pull data. But some people might not want all of these in every data pull. So they might not want the notes here or remarks. We'll remove that with this little minus. Auction date, auction address, those are for foreclosures only. Foreclosure case number here. So if you're not doing foreclosures, these fields will just be blank. So you can just go over here to selected, remove those with the minus, and then they won't go onto your document. If you'd like more or you'd like to put these back, you just hit the little plus and they go back over there. There you go. No problem. Now I'm going to turn this off because, again, I just want this to be simple for this. If we go next, you see here that there's 99,228 records that have matched our search in Arizona. So you'll see the credits you need to pull that full list and the credits available to pull that full list. But we know you don't always want to pull the full list. This is a pretty big list, and maybe you just want to get a little bit of a head start on it or do a little test. So you can toggle this partial list here, and you can choose how many credits you want to spend. Maybe we just want to spend 100 credits here. You can drag this bar, but I just like to type this in. So we'll say partial list of 100 credits, submit, and we see this transaction as we usually do. Are you sure? Yes. Now, we've spent our 100 credits here, and you see a notification that says we've pulled these 33 records. And now we can download this, and you see here it is. Now, something I want to mention to you is how easy was that to pull that data? I know I'm describing it to you, so it took a little bit longer. But if I wasn't here talking to you, it would have taken 10 seconds. And something else that a lot of other platforms do wrong is the user experience. So what happens in another platform when you pull data? As I mentioned, shows you a map, takes a long time to load. You have to try and input a bunch of different things and figure out which filters you want. You got to click through the UI and add or remove things. And then once you want to pull the data, you have a limit per month per account that you're allowed to have. Usually it's a couple thousand. And then if you go past that, then you have to update your account and pay again and do something different. And even once you pull that list, what happens? You pull the list and it says, okay, make a name for your list. And then you got to try and remember the filters that you chose, right? Have you ever done that? Where you pick 7 filters and you really get granular with your search and then you tell it to save the data. And then it pops up a box that says, name your list. I don't remember the exact 7 fields that I chose. And now I have to name the list. And if I click back, it unchooses all those filters. So, right, it's a big problem with the user interface. And so this, again, is something that seems small, but it's huge when you're using this system actually for your business. So anytime you create a document, you see here, it's called property data, great, Arizona, off market, privately owned, single family, lenders, VA, USDA, pulled 1/12/2024. It's literally the most descriptive file title that you could get. And so we do this with all of our documents. Why other companies and platforms don't do this, I don't know. It's completely insane. But now in your hard drive at home, if you download this, you know exactly what the file was. It's not going to be called file 84321 and then test list 6 because you couldn't remember what you put in as the filters for the list, right? It's automatically done for you here. So let's just open this up real quick. So you can see here all the fields that we have on here automatically. You'll see some empty fields here, like I said, for foreclosures. If there's no foreclosure information, it's just blank. But this is our data. So there you go. We've just pulled a list of 33 records, that easy, automatically named, no problem. Now, the next thing is skip tracing. Skip tracing in other platforms, super hard, is very difficult to do. After you've gone through the craziness of naming your files and all of this, then they make you send it to another part of their platform, which for some reason is separated. Then you have to rename it. You have to pick which fields you want. Again, you have to pick which records you want to add. Then when you try to skip trace, it says, oh, actually, you got to buy some more credits. You have to go through another transaction process. Then you have to spend a minimum of $50 on credits, even if it's only going to cost you $2 to do the skip tracing. So you got to prepay a bunch. And then once you start the skip tracing, they put it in a queue and it tells you what? You got to wait 5 minutes to 10 minutes. And then you just have to keep clicking refresh, try and get it. The whole thing is horrible and a mess. So I know you've used that before. If you've used any other platform, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So let's check out our skip trace. Okay, we have the data here. We don't even have to download it and re-upload it. We'll just click skip trace this data, and we can remove do not call and litigators. But it tells us our available credits and credits needed again for these 33. Let's just click yes. Accept. All right, so that's it. The skip trace is done. We've skip traced these 33 records. We spent this many credits, and these are our remaining credits. So we can click this download skip trace, and now you see this file that has this perfect name. Now we've added skip traced at the end. So now you know these two documents together. So you've got the data only document. It's perfectly named. You know what it is on your hard drive. And now you see the exact same document name. So you know it's exactly the same as the data. But now this one has skip traced at the end. Again, a little thing, but it's huge when you're actually doing business and you have lots of files and you're pulling lots of data. Maybe you don't know if you skip traced a file or not. This is it. So there you go. Now it says skip traced. And if you look at it, we've added the emails and phone numbers. We've appended it to the end here. I don't want to look at CSV files too long because I really want to focus on the system. But you see here a button that says assign to cold callers. Now, I just want to show you this flow really quick to show you how easy this is. And I'll get into this deeper in just a moment. But if we click assign to cold callers, we've already purchased 48 cold call hours. So let's say we just want 20 hours for the cold callers to call that list for 20 hours. And we hit submit. We see our available hours and how many to assign, accept. Okay, we've just assigned 20 hours to that list. And if we go over here to module 4 and cold caller files, this file that we just pulled the data and skip traced is set up to be called by cold callers for 20 hours. That's it. So think about how easy that was just now for you to pull the data, skip trace it, and assign it to cold callers. You didn't even have to download the file. I did just to show you, but you can just leave it straight up in the system. You don't even have to download the file. And now, after we approve this list, we have to look through it, make sure it's formatted properly, and then assign to the cold callers. But they're going to start making calls on this automatically. And then every time they have a call, there'll be notes for each call, and those will get updated in your Module 4 homepage. This is ready for cold callers. And you just wait for the cold callers to give you notifications that they have somebody interested in selling as a hot lead. And then that's when you pick up the phone and you give them a call. And by then, they're already qualified and they've already talked to the cold caller. They just want price. They want to sign some contracts. So very simple, and it's all built in directly to REIOS. Now, before we get into Module 4, too heavy, I do want to go back over here to Module 3 because we do have a saved search. So this is very helpful if you want to test things or you want to do the same type of search multiple times, or more importantly, if you want to change your output fields. So let's just do this real quick. If we go next and set custom fields, let's turn off blenders here. But let's remove a couple of these and hit save search and hit submit. Okay, we've just saved this search now. So if we get out of here and then we go back into Module 3, everything is blank, right? If we go to use save search and we pick input fields that we just selected and load it, it loads everything. The address, it loads the filters you had, it loads the fields you saved. It will literally save everything that you've done in here. So again, no other platform is doing it like this where it's so brain dead, super simple, and extremely fast. And that's the thing as real estate investors, we want it to be fast and easy. I don't want to have to spend my time and energy learning how to use a platform to pull data, right? What I want to do is come in here into REIOS, type in where I want it, click a couple buttons, hit next, click a couple more buttons, hit next, hit submit, hit skip trace, and then hit cold call. That's it. I want to take a couple of seconds and do the whole thing. So that's what REIOS does. If you'd like to find any documents that you've created later, we have this downloads page where it shows all of our data records, either from pulling data or from skip trace. And we also have an amazing ability, which you don't see in other platforms, which is continued data pull. So when we pulled this data record, there was 99,288 records, and we only pulled 33 out of those. So what if we either liked the list or had good experience with the cold callers, or maybe, like I said, we did a test and now we want the rest? All you got to do is click continue data pull, and you see this is the remainder. It's already removed the records you pulled already, which was 33 from the total. So you're not going to re-pull the 33 and the rest. The 33 stays pulled already that you did originally, and this is the remainder minus those initial 33. So it keeps track of everything. You're not paying for data multiple times. So let's just say we want to do another 33 records, which goes submit, accept. Okay, we pulled it. So now let's look at our downloads. Now we see we pulled 66 total out of this 99,241. You see it's the same name. On an older version of this document, we obviously don't want to re-pull, again, the same records, right? We've already pulled an extra 33, and they're on this document. So if we do continue data pull on this older version, it'll say you've already pulled that version, and there's already a newer version. And when you hit OK, it automatically shows you the newest version. Now, since these are right next to each other, you might not realize how useful that is. But imagine you have a data pull that's down here. Let's say 1160, and let's say another 100 credits worth. And now let's go back to the download section, and let's go 1160 here. And now if we do continue data pull, it'll tell us we've already got a new version of this. And now this pulls us all the way up to the top, the newest version, and then lets us continue from there. So again, something that you're not going to see this type of user experience in other systems. And these are the things that we're thinking about is you guys. How do we make this the easiest, quickest type of UI and UX? And so this is it. Also, you saw that there's a number here, which makes it super easy to know which records you're dealing with. So as I just mentioned, I went to 1160, that's listed over here. And so I know how to come back to it. And if you click any of these numbers, it actually pops up a box where you can report any issues you have with the list. We work really hard on our system, but potentially there might be a glitch or some problem in the future where the internet is down when you're trying to do this. Maybe there's some outage across the world or in data centers. If you have some problem with your list, you can just click on the number that's right next to it. I have an issue, and then hit submit. There you go. That just got sent to the back office with this number attached, so we know the exact file, and we can look at it on our end, and our user support can reach out to you and check the issue. If you've ever been on another platform, you know how hard it is to try and get a hold of support, and it's usually a completely separate thing, and it's a ticket system, and you have to sign into a subdomain and then create a new account and then try to tell them what happened on the other domain and send pictures or videos. It's a whole mess. Here in REIOS, again, we're making it super dead simple and the most awesome user experience that you can have. Click this over here, hit submit, it comes to us. Done. We can check it. We have the same thing over here with this report an issue. This is system-wide. You have any issue with the entire system, you see here's your first and last name, and then also the email address, and then please tell us the issue you're having. Same thing. If you said, my credits are not showing, and hit submit, that just got sent. Again, you see issue sent. That just got sent to the back office, and we can have support follow up with you immediately. So super simple on the support side. Those are the important things here. You can download these files anytime you want, and you can also do an amazing search either by the number here. So we remembered 1160 from earlier. If I want to find it again, I can just type it. But you can type anything. So you could type off market, and this will pull every list that you pulled that were off market. You could type Maricopa County, and it'll pull up all of the records that have Maricopa County. So this is a really amazing search that we built in for you guys, and you can search anything that's in here. So you could type skip trace only, and it would show only the files that have skip trace. You could search a date, since we have those automatically, and it would pull up every list that you pulled on that date. So this search really is powerful, especially with these unique numbers. Now, before we move away from Module 3, let's just check out two really quick things that we have in here for you. We also have straight up skip tracing. If you got a document you've got from somewhere else, click Upload Document, upload it here, and then you can skip trace in seconds, just like when you did it from our property data pull. And then we also have here copy and paste skip trace. So you can use multiple addresses at the same time or a single address. If you know there's an address that you see online or that you are doing driving for dollars, and you just want to paste that in here and then skip trace it very quick, then you'll see this one, submit, accept transaction. There you go. We skip traced that one address, and now we have all the user's information. You can immediately call them or text them. It's super easy, and this is something, again, other companies don't do. You have to go through a big UI and search for the property and click on it and add it to a list, name the list, move the list to skip tracing, select that, add the fields, pay some credit, right? It's ridiculous. You're in here, you have REIOS, you're on your cell phone, you're driving by a house that looks kind of distressed, you go skip trace, copy, paste, you start typing in the address, and it pops up, you autofill it, next, and then that's it. You skip trace it, download the file, you got it immediately. You click the link and you call them in seconds. This is REIOS, right? This is what it should be. Moving forward for us, one of the updates we're going to be doing is a Driving for Dollars app, where it's even easier to just open the app and do this copy, paste, skip trace. But for now, you can do this straight from your computer, and you can also do it straight from your cell phone. So it's still extremely easy. Okay, so continuing on to Module 4. Module 4 is manpower, and this is where you can either purchase cold calling hours and have cold callers call your lists, or you can assign a transaction coordinator to a deal that you're doing. So if we go over here to cold call hours, you'll see how many banked hours we have, basically hours we purchased that are not being used. Assigned hours, these are the hours that have already been assigned to a list in total. Then we have recurring packages that you can set up every month so you know that you constantly have cold callers available for your lists. It's super simple to buy new hours. Just go to get cold call hours over here. You see if we want to cancel this, we can right from here. Are you sure? Yes. There you go. So as you see, super easy to cancel a recurring transaction. In other systems, you'd have to go through 10 screens and potentially send an email to support and do all kinds of things. That's it. The 2 clicks and we canceled that recurring transaction. But let's go get more hours, and we can choose either one time or recurring. Let's choose recurring so we can see this again. Here you can choose multiple options because we want you to get exactly what you want. So if you want 15 hours, there's no selection here for 15 hours. So you can just do 10 plus 5 and it'll total 15, and this is how many credits it will cost. You can also do more if you'd like more hours, but with a combination of selecting multiple, you should be able to purchase as many hours as you need and actually get very specific. Like I said, if you don't want to do 20, you want 15 instead, you just pick 2. All right, let's just pick 20 for now. You see, we'll spend 14,000 credits and we'll get 20 hours. We'll go next and we'll see the transaction here. If we change our mind, we can just delete this here and it'll go back. But let's continue. And this will charge us 14,000 credits. There you go. We just purchased the credits. You see here, cold calling hours recurring. You've purchased a recurring package of 20 cold call hours and we spent 14,000 credits. But to make it even easier, you can just straight go into uploading a list for cold calling. So we'll just click this. Click here. We're going to do this list that we just did, skip trace that we pulled, and we'll go next. How many hours do we want to assign? Let's say 20. Submit, and then accept. There you go. We just assigned. Let's go start over. Come over here, edit assigned hours, and here we go. This is our list. We can also do it from over here, cold caller files. This is it. You can see all the files you have ready, and they're pending. The reason they're pending is because we have to look at them, and then we have to make sure they're in the right format, and then assign them to a cold caller. So it's not instant that it starts calling, but as we continue to optimize the system, it will be faster and faster. You also notice a cancel hours here. If you have 20 hours assigned, and for some reason you use the wrong list, or you change your mind while it's still pending, you can click cancel. Because of this, you're going to lose 2 hours anytime you cancel a list. The reason is we actually have to do some of this manually, and cold callers are real people. They're not a system that we can just do things automatically with APIs and servers. we will actually be getting your list, like I said, looking through it to make sure it's properly formatted, then pushing it to the cold callers. They're actively calling it. So right now this is pending. But if this was active and you wanted to cancel some of your hours, we would actually have to pull those lists out of the cold callers' hands then and tell them to stop calling and switch. So there is, some moving parts that we have to do. So because of that, if you cancel a list to try and get your hours back, you'll lose 2 hours from whatever hours you have left. So let's just say yes. And now you see this move to canceling. Again, we have to actively pull this away from the cold callers. So once this is completed, this will say canceled, and then you'll get a notification saying you received 18 hours back. The other thing here is add a file. So if you wanted to just add a file that you had already, you can just click this and then upload it. And then the same way, you can just assign hours to it. That's something you've probably seen throughout this entire demo is this top-up button. I chastised other companies for making it difficult earlier for you to purchase new credits or activate things. And I just really wanted to make it super clear how REIOS is different than that. So let's say we don't have enough hours here and we don't have enough credits to purchase those hours. What we'll do is hit top up and okay, we'll buy another 20,000 credits with our save payment method. Bang. So we just purchased those credits. But what's super amazing is this resume button. And when we click that button, you see we go back to exactly where we were, where we've already uploaded the file, and we're just trying to set the number of hours. And that's the same way it is in all of REIOS. If you're in the middle of pulling property data and you've already picked your filters and you already started the transaction and you don't have enough credits and you hit top up, when you finish purchasing your credits and hit resume, it will automatically go back to exactly where you were in the process. So either in the middle of pulling data, in the middle of skip tracing, in the middle of purchasing cold call hours, assigning cold call hours to files, wherever you are, this top up button will resume you right back to where you were, which again, other companies don't do. You have to go out of what you're doing to try and buy credits or add a payment method or whatever it is, and then try and go back and redo everything. So another part of REIOS that we've thought really hard on to get the user experience really clean and smooth. Our Module 5 is all about financing, and this is where you can go to either apply for funding or become a lender. So if you're somebody who has some cash and you'd like to lend and earn large returns very quickly, either with transactional funding or more long-term transactions like hard money lending, this is where you can either post your need for that funding or see other people's need for that funding, connect, do a transaction, and then make your money here. So no more scouring the internet and Facebook groups and all these kind of things. Just try and find a lending opportunity that you know is legit. And also on the flip side, if you're a wholesaler and you need a down payment, you need earnest money deposit, this is a great place you can go in, post your need for funding, and get tons of lenders funding you right away. So this is great for both sides. We're actually still working on this at the moment, but this will be implemented shortly. Our Module 6 is actually where you can submit and find deals. This is where if you've got a wholesale deal that you'd like to assign, or if you're just selling a property as a seller, whatever the case is, here you can go and you can post your deals, or you can find deals. This is active right now, but I'm not going to show it to you because we're still working on the functionality and the UI for it. But this alone will replace other platforms like InvestorLift and many others that you know that charge $5,000 or $10,000 per year just for the feature that we have in Module 6 here, where you can post a deal, blast it out to all the people who are looking for deals in that area, and then get buyers coming really quickly. You see this VIP zip codes here. This is where you can purchase a zip code for $5 if you're looking to get deals in that zip code sent to you, and for $5 a month, you will be the first people who get a deal that's posted in your zip code. So let's say you purchase a zip code and someone posts a deal in that zip code, you'll get an email or a text message or a notification here, depending on what you select, but you'll be contacted first, and it will be an hour before that deal actually gets posted on the deals page here in the back office for every user. So these VIP zip codes are great. You can purchase as many as you want. Like I said, you get an hour head start on anybody else to get those deals sent directly to you, and then you can work with the seller before anybody else even gets a chance. So Again, we're not like other platforms where you have to learn and do a lot of work. I know InvestorLift is one of those. That seems great, but you have to provide your own buyers list and you have to go through a bunch of stuff to try and find them and sort lists and then click on buttons and contact them and do all kinds of stuff. Here, we do everything for you way better. You go in here, you click find a deal, you get a list of deals visually. When you click on it, it opens a page and shows the details. If you want to purchase it, you click buy now, and we do everything else in the background. If you want to submit a counter offer, you click that, submit your counter offer. If the seller accepts it, then bang, it's done. If they want to counter offer back to you, you two can go back and forth just like that as many times as you want until the deal is closed. And then again, these VIP zip codes, if you're a seller, you know that we're going to be blasting your deal out to buyers who are hungry for your exact deal. And if you're a buyer, you know that you're going to get the deals directly to your inbox in the zip codes that you want. So perfect for both sides. Nobody has to do anything or learn new platforms. It's all done instantly. Now, this state of the system is pretty long, but again, it's the inaugural state of the system, and we've got a lot to offer inside of REIOS. We just have a ton of stuff. And the last thing I want to get into is the UI and updates that are coming. As you can see in our UI, we've got a dark theme and we've got a light theme already, but we're actually working on this UI to make it amazing. And so we actually have our developers working on that now. And as a part of the state of the system, I'm going to show you this a little bit of advance. This is a prototype of our user interface and what it will look like. We still have some tweaks to make. Working with the developer to remove some of this pink so it's darker and maybe change some of this purple to a darker color. But you really see the difference that we're working on from the two different UI versions. We're still in pre-launch and we've been focused mostly on the systems and making the user experience amazing. But we're also working on the user interface. So just keep that in mind as you're going through this video that we are working on everything. It will continue to get better, even the looks. So the last thing let's talk about is updates. Here is a behind the scenes look at our Trello board for REIOS and all the things that we have going on. We have future updates for our Chrome extension, a mobile app, our Driving for Dollars app. We have 7, 14, and 30 days away. We have things that we're working on right now. We have multiple developers working on different things. So we really have a UI UX. We really have a lot of things planned here, and we wanted to show you this behind the scenes because it takes a lot for each little feature that we add. It takes a lot behind the scenes. We make it look so good and so smooth while you're using it. It might seem like it's really easy to do, right? When you click a couple of fields and it creates a whole website, or when you click a couple buttons, it pulls data, skip trace it, and assign to cold callers. We worked really hard to make it buttery smooth for you guys as the users and to be really quick and easy. But on the back end, there's an extreme amount of programming and multiple servers and databases and all kinds of things, APIs that have to connect and sync together and make something and change something and add something. So I just wanted to show you guys that Trello board so you see that we have a lot to do in order to implement these features. That way you can really appreciate when we do something well and the user interaction seems super easy and buttery smooth. It's not because it's easy for us. It's because we worked really, really hard with our knowledge and how to make this great for you guys. So what we've actually built is a REIOS public updates board for you guys, which is way easier to read. So we have our in-progress things, our coming soon, our future updates, currently testing, and deployed. So you see we've got theme toggle on mobile, partial data pull module 3, the quick list, we just added those, save the quick list, mobile optimization we just added. We're working on module 1 optimization now. These are the other things that we have in progress, then are coming soon, and our future updates. And we're going to give all the pre-launch members access to this public updates board so you can see exactly what it is that we're working on and how soon it's going to be done, tested, and deployed to the live server. We're also going to give you guys an option to give us suggestions. If you'd like to see a feature that another company has that you want us to add to REIOS, we'll check it out. And if it's possible, then we'll actually start to integrate some of those things as well. Obviously, we have a lot to do already with our updates over the next 30, 60, and 90 days. But once we start to get all of these things done that we want to accomplish, we'll start to take into account some of your suggestions as well. because we really want REIOS to be the one-stop system for all of your real estate investment needs moving forward. So that's about where I want to wrap up for this first inaugural REIOS State of the System. I hope you guys enjoyed what you saw. We've still got some pre-launch accounts available. If you haven't locked in your spot with a pre-launch account, make sure you contact me. You can send me an email, prelaunch@reios.io. We're limiting 50 accounts for pre-launch that will get lifetime access to REIOS. So get in now while you can, and I'll see you guys on the next REIOS State of the System.